Today, we are going to tackle one of the most misunderstood ideas in trading. It's a silent killer that works behind the scenes, and believe me, it has nothing to do with whether you are right or wrong about the market's direction. So let's just start with this, because it flips the whole script on what you've probably been told. Most traders who blow up are quick to blame high leverage. But the real culprit? It's not the leverage your broker gives you. It's the amount of exposure you decide to take on compared to the actual cash in your account.
So, if it's not the leverage, what is it? Well, to find out, we're going to watch it happen. We're setting up a little experiment. We're going to follow one trader making the exact same moves in two parallel universes. Everything is identical, except for one tiny hidden rule.
Okay, but before we dive in, we all need to be on the same page. Let's do a quick run-through of the vital signs. The three numbers on our trader's dashboard that are going to decide his fate. First up is margin. And you've got to get this right. It is not a fee. It is not money you have spent. Think of it more like a security deposit. Your broker just holds on to a piece of your money to make sure your trade is covered. It's not gone, it's just set aside.
Next up, equity. Now this one is the real deal. This is your account's true, live value, second by second. It's your balance, plus or minus whatever profit or loss you've got floating around. This is your buffer. This is your shock absorber.
And that brings us to the margin level. Look, you can watch a dozen different numbers, but this is the only one your broker's automated system is staring at. It's just a percentage, but it's the number that decides if you're healthy, if you get that dreaded warning, or if they just pull the plug on your trades.
All right, fundamentals are covered. Let's get the experiment rolling. We've got our trader. He's just dropped $1,000 into two separate accounts, and he's ready to make his first move.
Now here is the one single difference between these two parallel worlds. In world one, the broker uses what's called net margin. That just means if you buy and sell the same thing, they cancel each other out, margin-wise. Simple. But in world two, it's gross margin. And that means every single trade, every position, needs its own chunk of collateral locked up, even if you're perfectly hedged.
Okay, so here's the play. Our trader thinks the euro is about to go wild, but he has no idea which way. So he does something pretty common. He hedges. He buys and sells the exact same amount of EUR/USD. He's totally market neutral, just waiting to see which way the wind blows. And boom, the difference is instant. I mean, look at this. Their equity is identical, of course. But in world one, with net margin, that hedge requires zero, zip, nada for margin. But over in world two, the gross margin broker has locked up $440. That's almost half his account, just sitting there as collateral.
Yeah, when you see it on a chart, it's night and day, isn't it? World one basically has infinite breathing room. All its capital is free. But world two, it's already feeling the squeeze at 226%. And trust me, that number can drop scarily fast. So our guy, he's feeling pretty good. He's got his hedge on, thinks he's totally safe, right? So he decides to add another trade to the mix. He spots what he thinks is a good opportunity in gold and jumps in with a buy, expecting it to go up.
Okay, let's check back in on those vitals. After he adds that gold trade, well, world one is still looking fantastic. The margin level is close to 500%. But world two, oh man, he's now down to just 155%. He's really on the edge. And remember, these are the exact same trades, creating two completely different realities. And of course, right on cue, the market decides to turn against him. That new gold trade takes an immediate nosedive, and suddenly he's looking at a $100 floating loss. Now, think about the psychology here. In world one, yeah, he's down $100, but he's relaxed. A 447% margin level, that's a fortress. He's fine. But in world two, at 139%, he is sweating bullets. He's staring right at that 100% warning line. It's the same financial loss, but a world of difference in pressure.
And this is where it all comes to a head. The climax. Everything is about to go sideways. Our trader's just holding on, totally oblivious to the silent killer that's just woken up, right before a huge news announcement.
This is the classic sequence of events that just blows up accounts. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't even start with the news itself. Nope. It starts 2 minutes before with a quiet little change from the broker. Then the spreads get crazy wide, and only then does the actual news drop.
So, with 2 minutes on the clock, deep inside the broker's servers, a risk engine just quietly kicks into gear. It knows volatility's coming, so to protect itself, it slashes the leverage on metals. There's no big red flashing light on a screen, no email, it just happens.
And what does that actually do? Well, less leverage means a much higher margin requirement.
That security deposit for his gold trade, it more than doubles. It shoots up from $200 to almost $500 instantly. And remember, the price of gold hasn't budged, not one penny. This is purely a mechanical change.
So, what's the damage? Let's just focus on our guy in World 2 for a second. His total used margin just exploded, and his margin level, it is absolutely cratered down to 111%. He is now officially on margin call. The system is screaming at him. He is, for all intents and purposes, on life support.
And then the news hits. The price spikes, whipsawing around and creating another quick loss. Now, for our trader in World 1, this is a heart-stopping moment. His margin level dives below 100%, but, and this is the key, it stays above the 50% stop-out level. He's hurt, he's bleeding, but he's still in the game. He survives.
But for our trader in World 2, this is it. It's over. That 1-2 punch of the high margin he started with on the hedge, plus that sudden leverage cut, it was a knockout blow. The system has no emotion. It has no choice. It just liquidates his gold trade at the absolute worst possible price to stop the account from going negative. Game over.
So let's just step back and look at the aftermath. What was the real difference maker here? What decided who walked away and who got carried out? It wasn't his trading idea, that's for sure, and it wasn't really the market either.
And this is the thing you have to take away from this. The trader in World 2 didn't get taken out by the market. He got taken out by the plumbing, by the mechanics of his trading platform. That gross margin rule created a weakness, a vulnerability that just shattered the moment things got volatile. His own broker broke his strategy for him.
And all of this brings us full circle, right back to that quote from the beginning. See, the real risk isn't the headline leverage number your broker advertises. It's the effective leverage that you, the trader, actually use. It's a simple calculation, the total size of your positions divided by your equity. That's the number that tells you how much pain you can actually take.
So, that leaves us with one last question you really need to ask yourself. It's not just about whether your strategy can survive the market. That's only half the battle. The real question is your strategy and your entire account built to survive the very platform that you're trading on?